Welcome all of you once again, and here we are with unit number 8 from our textbook in English for class 9, Beehive. And the title is Reach for the Top. So, dear students, can you think or just read the title Reach for the Top? What do you remember? What do you think it is about? Reach for the Top.
Reaching for
No
the
idea?
top.
Yes, Akansha?
Reaching for the top.
Yes, what is it about? Reach for the top means what you understand? That
Sir,
is the
reaching
question.
the top of Mount Everest.
Mountain climbing.
Oh, so when we refer to the top, reaching for the top, it's only about physical summits.
Success, sir.
Success, very good. If you remember in class 8, there was the fifth lesson, the summit within. Do you remember? The summit within. And the author was H.P.S. Ahluwalia, Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia. Do you remember those students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
From those members who had been successful in the expedition to Mount Everest, and they had climbed. And in that text, he shared his experience about climbing up the Mount Everest as the summit outside, but also he draws our attention to the summit within, right? And he mentioned that both are equally important. Rather, he says that the summit within maybe or perhaps is higher than the summit of Mount Everest, right? So, do you know, dear students, the height of Mount Everest? We had discussed last year, I remember. Anyone? Height of Mount Everest. Come on.
8,000 meter.
8,000 only?
Above 8,000 meter.
Approximately or exactly, can you say? Hmm? 8,848.
48.
Absolutely, very good. This is huge. Telling the right answer. If you want to say the same in another unit, that is feet, then how much it is? Can you tell? In feet? It is in meters, that 8,848, right? But in feet, 29,029. That is the height of the highest peak, highest point in the world, Mount Everest, right? Understanding, your students?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
But here, reach for the top is not just about climbing up the mountains, but it is all about achieving the highest success, the highest summit, the highest goal in our life, right? And so, in this reach for the top, we are going to study two great such personalities. One of them is Indian, and the other one Russian. Maria Sharapova is from Russia, and the Santosh Yadav is from India. So, do you know anything about this lady, or you think that this is a gent, Santosh, when you say or when you listen? What do you think? Santosh is the name of boy or girl?
Boy.
Boy.
Yes. Some names are there. They are for boys and girls. Kiran Bedi, what do you think? She is a lady or a gent?
Sir, it's a unisex name.
Yes, but Kiran Bedi is,
Girl.
yes, she is a lady, the first lady IPS officer in India, right? So this Santosh Yadav is also a lady. I'm sharing some details about her. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Some images are there of Santosh Yadav, some interviews given by her. So Santosh Yadav, you can see here, is an Indian mountaineer. I would like Akansha to read the details given here about Santosh Yadav. Can you please hear Akansha?
Yes, sir.
Over to you.
Yes, sir. Santosh Yadav is an Indian mountaineer. She is the first woman in the world to climb Mount Everest twice and the first woman to successfully climb Mount Everest from Kangshung Pass. She climbed the peak first in May 1992 and then again in May 1993 with an Indo-Nepalese team.
She is born in 1969. She is 51 years old. Her spouse, his husband's name is Uttam Kumar Lal, with whom she married in 1992. She is also awarded with Padma Shri. And she has two children, Mahima Nandini and Mahesh. So this was the information about her briefly given. But in this text, we are going to learn in detail about her expedition and her journey to Mount Everest, not once but twice. In class 8, the summit within was the lesson in which we have studied and we have realized that how difficult task it is, to climb up the Mount Everest. You can just imagine we are just climbing up some 10 to 15 or 20 or 30, maximum 50 stairs, and we are little tired. And there she is, a lady or a person, whoever, climbing up approximately 9 kilometers high up, steep in the sky, with the help of only rope. Even there is a shortage of oxygen, and the mountain is just occupied by an ice and is made up of rock. Just imagine. Isn't it very difficult task, dear students? And being a lady, here, this Santosh Yadav has climbed it up twice, not just once. And so they can be a motivational personality for all of us. But every person has to face some difficulties in his or her life, even if born in poor village or sorry, poor family or rich. It makes no difference. Some or the other way. Even if the difficulties are different, but after all, there are the obstacles and the barriers on the path in everybody's life. So such people, they tell us and teach us a lesson not to retreat, but overcome them. Just not run away from the problems, but face them. Okay? So the way she is going to motivate us is ultimately good for you people and of course for me. Would you like to know about her? Would you like to learn this lesson? Yes, dear students.
Yes, sir.
So here is
Yes, sir.
one activity given. Let's see what is it given before you read. So think for a while and make a list of 3 or 5 persons you idolize or admire very much for their achievement. Your idols may be from any sphere of life: sports, medicine, media, or art and culture. I think last year also you had shared some of your speeches about the great personalities, right? In elocution competition. So can you please name 3 or 5 people whom you find that they are role model for you? They are the ideal person for you. You just go on admiring them when you think of, and you get inspiration, motivation automatically just by their appearance before you. So they can be from any field: sports, medicine, media, or art and culture, or any other. Would you like to share, dear students? Anyone, one by one? Yesterday only we observed and celebrated Vachan Prerna Din in Maharashtra, even the World Students' Day, on the occasion of Dr. Kalam's birth anniversary, who has been always, always he has been a motivation for the children. Even in his last moments of life, he was teaching the children. And then he fell down and finally left this world. So he is also one of the personalities, whom we can think of and just get motivation. And there is a lesson that we have studied, my childhood, didn't you? Even Albert Einstein. Don't go to the past. Even today you will find there are many people, not only from the film industries, but there are also from sports and also the doctors. We call them as COVID or coronavirus nowadays, right? Even those journalists from media and also some people with the help of art and their culture trying to motivate and encourage the people to keep themselves safe from this COVID-19. They are the superheroes for all of us, and they really deserve to be admired and idolized, right? So there are many. Even your parents are there. In the neighborhood, you will find many such people. Need not to just think from out. Am I right, dear students? Do you agree? Aren't there such people whom we can find as a role model for us?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So before proceeding here with the text directly, after reading the second point, we'll discuss the summary and then watch a video, and then I'll explain you the text word to word, line to line, and also meaning between the lines. So here your teacher will then discuss your choices with you to find out who the top 5 idols of your class are. And after you had shared with me different people, personalities, then we could classify them, sort out them, and decide the 5 idols for our class. But it's not possible now. It can be done by you. You can write about them. You can also say few words about them in your elocution competition, right? So here is the summary that I am reading it out for you all. Listen to it very carefully, so that you will get an idea about the text. I'm sure you must have understood some part. But let's see little in detail. So this article is about Santosh Yadav, the first woman in the world to climb Mount Everest twice. Her story is inspiring. Despite being born in a skewed society which did not welcome the birth of a girl child, the girls were married off at 16. She made her own path, followed her desires, and achieved world fame. I think just 2 to 3 years ago there was also a movie by Amir Khan. You know that movie? Where there are daughters and they are the wrestlers.
Dangal.
Yeah, Dangal. Good boy. And here in the society, he is born, Santosh Yadav, where girls are not allowed to born. People are just fond of the boys. They want the sons, not the daughters. They find daughters as a burden for them. And how she struggled and became the first woman in the world to climb the Mount Everest twice. That we know how difficult task it is. I'll just briefly share with you some account from her life. That Santosh Yadav was born to wealthy landlords in Dunia, was village of Rohtak district in Haryana. I think Dangal is also from that place, that side only, either Bihar or Uttar Pradesh or Haryana itself. She was the youngest child, a sister to 5 elder brothers. Due to the traditions, she was forced to study in the village school. Since childhood, she was opposed to the customs, preferred wearing short in opposition to the traditional dresses like salwar kameez. Her behavior, her way of dressing and all was about just like boys only. Because she was the one who was born after 5 boys. She had 5 elder brothers in her family. And that way only, she started wearing the clothes like boys and also followed their customs. At the age of 16, like other girls in the village, she was forced to get married, but she resisted and insisted upon getting educated before getting married. And dear students, in the villages, even today you will find that girls, just at the age of 16 and also below it, they get married. Parents force them to get married. Even if they don't want, they want to continue their education. But from village people point of view, there is no education for girls. There is no education for their daughters. It is only for their sons, boys. Day by day, it is taking time. Definitely, it takes a generation or two to match up and root out such culture and costumes, traditions from the society. But that time, when she was just 16-year-old, even her parents did the same and they wanted her to get married. Then what did she do? Did she get married? No. She resisted and insisted that she wanted to continue her education. Then she took admission in a school in Delhi, but her parents refused to support her. She accepted it and decided to work part-time to fund her schooling fee. Finally, the parents were disappointed that she went and took admission, sought admission in Delhi, and so they did not provide her any support. But what finally she did? She was determined with her decision and started doing a part-time job and was earning some money so that she could fulfill her need of school fees. Finally, her parents agreed to support her. And when they came to know that she is very firm with her decision and is determined, they had to support her with some finance because they were good. They were a good landowner there and could easily help. But just because she was a daughter, they did not want to spend any more money on her that they wanted to spend for her marriage. So her father accepted her desire to get higher education. After high school, Santosh joined the Maharani College at Jaipur and lived at the Kasturba hostel. And then he shifted from Delhi to Jaipur. Jaipur is the capital of Rajasthan and Raipur, Chhattisgarh, you know. And there she started staying in Kasturba hostel and continued her education there in Maharani College. There she saw the villagers climb the Aravalli hill and was curious to know what was at the other side of the hill. And you know, as with the villagers, they just go on climbing, some do trekking in the villages, and you know this Aravalli hill in Rajasthan. She used to see the people going and climbing up those Aravalli hills, and she was very curious one day to know what is there, there in the hills. And so she joined a group of mountaineers there, and hence undertook her first climbing expedition. And that way, she got some interest in climbing up the mountains. And it happens finally that she found her kick, the kick movie you might have watched. She found her interest, her passion that was there lying in the mountains. And then she discontinued everything. She lost her interest, but found only in climbing up the mountains. And that way she continued her training. Let's see where and how. Within 4 years, in 1992, she climbed Mount Everest. Her qualities of determination, physical and mental strength impressed her seniors. Her fellow climbers appreciated her concern for others and willingness to work in a team. She saved the life of a fellow climber named Mohan Singh by sharing her oxygen cylinder with him. And it's very difficult task. You have read in the text in class 8, The Summit Within by Major Ahluwalia, right? HPS, Haripal Singh. And the same way here, one of her fellow was shortage of oxygen and there was no oxygen cylinder available and she provided her own to that fellow, Mohan Singh. And she could, save her life, save his life that way. And so she was very well appreciated by her teams or those teammates. And she finally joined an Indo-Nepalese woman expedition and climbed Everest twice. It was the second time that she then becomes the first woman in the world to climb the peak twice. Santosh cannot describe the immense feeling of her happiness and pride when she saw on the top of the world as she hoisted the Indian flag. She felt proud to be an Indian. Being an environmentalist, she brought down the 500 kilograms of garbage from the Himalayas. And in the summit within, you have seen that some other people, those who had been there, had kept, some pictures of their own gods or goddesses. They had left over there as a token of their reverence, their respect for their gods, right? So here Santosh Yadav didn't do like that, but simply he hoisted a flag there of India and rather brought the garbage that was there left by these mountaineers and was almost 500 kilograms, right? So it was just a summary. Did you understand, dear students? We are again going to learn this text in detail. Also word-to-word explanation, but I wanted you to have an idea about the text. What is it about? Who is she? How she succeeded? What was her background? How she proceeded with her goals, accomplishing the qualities that she had, right? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Hello, dear students. Very good. And here we are now just going to summarize this text again with the help of video, and then we will learn this text in detail, then discuss question and answers. That will be the steps. Right? May I continue the same way? Do you like it? Or do you want to suggest any changes? Yes, dear students, what do you say? Okay, watch the video first.
Reach for the top. The only woman in the world who has scaled Mount Everest twice was born in a society where the birth of the son was regarded as a blessing, and the daughter, though not considered a curse, was not generally welcome. When her mother was expecting Santosh, a traveling holy man, giving her his blessing, assumed that she wanted a son. But to everyone's surprise, the unborn child's grandmother, who was standing close by, told him that they did not want a son. The holy man was also surprised. Nevertheless, he gave the requested blessing, and as destiny would have it, the blessing seemed to work. Santosh was born the sixth child in a family with 5 sons, a sister to 5 brothers. She was born in the small village of Joniavas of Rewari district in Haryana. The girl was given the name Santosh, which means contentment. But Santosh was not always content with her place in a traditional way of life. She began living life on her own terms from the start. Where other girls wore traditional Indian dresses, Santosh preferred shorts. Looking back, she says now, "From the very beginning, I was quite determined that if I choose a correct and a rational path, the others around me had to change, not me." Santosh's parents were affluent landowners who could afford to send their children to the best schools, even to the country's capital, New Delhi, which was quite close by. But in line with the prevailing custom in the family, Santosh had to make do with the local village school. So, she decided to fight the system in her own quiet way when the right moment arrived. And the right moment came when she turned 16. At 16, most of the girls in her village used to get married. Santosh was also under pressure from her parents to do the same. A marriage as early as that was the last thing on her mind. She threatened her parents that she would never marry if she did not get a proper education. She left home and got herself enrolled in a school in Delhi. When her parents refused to pay for her education, she politely informed them of her plans to earn money by working part-time to pay her school fees. Her parents then agreed to pay for her education. Wishing always to study a bit more, and with her father slowly getting used to her urge for more education, Santosh passed the high school examinations and went to Jaipur. She joined Maharani College and got a room in Kasturba Hostel. Santosh remembers, "Kasturba Hostel faced the Aravali Hills. I used to watch villagers from my room, going up the hill and suddenly vanishing after a while. One day, I decided to check it out myself. I found nobody except a few mountaineers. I asked if I could join them. To my pleasant surprise, they answered in the affirmative and motivated me to take to climbing." Then there was no looking back for this determined young girl. She saved money and enrolled in a course at Uttarkashi's Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. My college semester in Jaipur was to end in April, but it ended on the 19th of May, and I was supposed to be in Uttarkashi on the 21st. So I did not go back home. Instead, I headed straight for the training. I had to write a letter of apology to my father, without whose permission I had got myself enrolled at Uttarkashi. Thereafter, Santosh went on an expedition every year. Her climbing skills matured rapidly. Also, she developed a remarkable resistance to cold and the altitude. Equipped with an iron will, physical endurance, and an amazing mental toughness, she proved herself repeatedly. The culmination of her hard work and sincerity came in 1992, just 4 years after she had shyly asked the Aravalli mountaineers if she could join them. At barely 20 years of age, Santosh Yadav scaled Mount Everest, becoming the youngest woman in the world to achieve the feat. If her climbing skills, physical fitness, and mental strength impressed her seniors, her concern for others and desire to work together with them found her a special place in the hearts of fellow climbers. During the 1992 Everest mission, Santosh Yadav provided special care to a climber who lay dying at the South Pole. She was unfortunately unsuccessful in saving him. However, she managed to save another climber, Mohan Singh, who would have met with the same fate had she not shared her oxygen with him. Within 12 months, Santosh found herself a member of an Indo-Nepalese women's expedition that invited her to join them. She then scaled the Everest a second time, thus setting a record as the only woman to have scaled the Everest twice, and securing for herself and India a unique place in the annals of mountaineering. In recognition of her achievements, the Indian government bestowed upon her one of the nation's top honors, the Padma Shri. Describing her feelings when she was literally on top of the world, Santosh has said, "It took some time for the enormity of the moment to sink in. Then I unfurled the Indian tricolour and held it aloft on the roof of the world. The feeling is indescribable. The Indian flag was flying on top of the world. It was truly a spiritual moment. I felt proud as an Indian." Also a fervent environmentalist, Santosh collected and brought down 500 kilograms of garbage from the Himalayas.
Yes, dear students, understood?
Yes, sir.
Was it something that we discussed in the summary? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, would you like to know more about her now in the text? Even if we have understood some, important highlights from her life, but let's see in detail. Can we proceed with that? Fine. Here you can see her picture. House is there on one of the mountains, happy as if she is flying in the sky. Right? Can you see? Yes, dear students, can you see her?
Yes.
Very good. If you have your textbook open,
Yes, sir.
please turn over to page number 99. There you can see Santosh Yadav, part 1. From unit number 8 to reach for the top. Let's see now how her childhood was spent and how she gets inspiration, motivation in order to be a mountaineer. Did her family support her? We know all things, but let's see in detail. The only woman in the world who has scaled Mount Everest twice was born in a society where the birth of a son was regarded as a blessing. And dear students, even today, just in the name of Vanshata Diva, people prefer to have sons and they don't want daughters. They find daughters as burden. No, it may not be the true in every family, but especially those who are poor, are living in the villages, are not educated, they are still following the same and they find it true. And similarly here, in the family of Santosh Yadav, it was little different because it happens generally that there are 5 daughters and then a son. You know, because family wants a son, and so they wait for son to be born. So how many are daughters there in family? They are not bothered because they want son. But here it is little different. There were 5 sons, and then she was the only daughter in her family, right? So how it happened that she was there and she was born in their family, that we'll see. Was it like just a blessing that they considered like for son, or they did not like her as a daughter to be born in their family? So she was born in a society where the birth of a son was regarded as a blessing, and a daughter, though not considered a curse, was not generally welcome. You know, they did not really find daughter born in their family was a curse, but generally they did not welcome daughters born in their family, and they always welcome with some excitement, happiness in their families when the sons were born. And when her mother was expecting Santosh, a traveling holy man, giving her his blessing, assumed that she wanted a son. And you know, it happened that when Santosh mother was expecting, you know, Santosh, when she was pregnant, the baby was there, and that time a holy man, a saint, was traveling nearby, and he gave her blessing, whom Santosh mother, that she wants a son, and accordingly he blessed her that she will be born with a son. But did it happen? Did it come true? But to everyone's surprise, the unborn child's grandmother, who was standing close by, told him that they did not want a son. And there was mother-in-law of Santosh mother, means grandmother of Santosh, standing nearby. And she told that holy man, the saint, that they did not expect a son to be born. There are already 5. Then what did the holy man do? Let's see. The holy man was also surprised. You know, he himself was surprised because every day he's traveling from one place to another, and people are there begging for a son to be born in their family. How is this grandmother? Quite different. That she did not expect a son, right? And so here it is mentioned that the holy man was also surprised. There you can see an exclamation mark. Nevertheless, he gave the requested blessing. And as destiny would have it, the blessing seems to work. Santosh was born, the 6th child in a family with 5 sons, a sister to 5 brothers. He was born in the small village of Duniavas of Rewari district in Haryana. And finally, the words came true of a holy man. It is again a superstition, or it is a matter of again an argument or a debate if the blessings of these people really come true or not. Okay, we'll not think and discuss about it. But finally, here it happened that Santosh was born, and she was the 6th child in her family and the only daughter after 5 brothers, after 5 boys, after 5 sons in their family. And so she had 5 brothers, right? And the place mentioned here is Duniavas, a village from Rewari district in Haryana. You know where in Haryana there is one of the districts that is Rewari and Duniavas. Do you want me to show you on Google Map? Is it required? No,
No,
I
sir.
think it is better, no? That you understood. If you want, you can also search it in Google or Google Map. You will get it there. Then what happens? Let's see. The girl was given the name Santosh, which means contentment. But Santosh was not always content with her place in a traditional way of life. She began living life on her own terms from the start. Where other girls wore traditional Indian dresses, Santosh preferred shorts. Looking back, she says now, from the very beginning I was quite determined that if I chose a correct and a rational path, the others around me had to change, not me. And you know, dear students, as her name urged Santosh, she was never content with herself. Why? Because the society, the people around her wanted her different than what she wanted herself. The people wanted her to live in their own way, as the traditional way, but she never liked those ways. and she wanted to live her own way. And so even if her name is Santosh, that means contentment, means happy, satisfied with whatever and wherever we are. She was never content. And she always, began her life living her own terms from the start, from her own way. She was least bothered about the people around in the society. And the time, the other children or the girls were wearing a traditional way of, that kinds of clothes, Indian dresses, She was the only one there who was wearing the shorts. Nowadays it doesn't matter, but that time it mattered a lot in the villages. And so the people used to talk about her unnecessarily. But she was so determined about herself that she says, if, I chose a correct and a rational path, the others around me had to change, not me. And so she was determined from the beginning, and she never wanted that she should follow the others. Rather, others should follow, or they may follow her if they want. But she never wanted herself to change herself according to the need of society. Rather, she wanted that the society or the people around her should change themselves and their mentality. Right? But only one condition she mentions here. What is it? That if she chose a correct and rational path, means the path should be correct. It should not be a wrong way that she is going. It should be a correct way. And then only she says she is determined. Right? Understanding, dear students? Don't take it otherwise, like, whatever path she was going, others should follow. She did not say so. She says here that if she chose the correct path, then only she expects that the people should change themselves, not she herself. Understanding, everyone? Getting it?
Yes, sir.
About her
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good. Right, absolutely. We should also do like that when we are right. Not just we think that we are right. That is also different thing. Sometimes two things are there. We are actually wrong, but we think that we are right. And so we want others should agree with you and follow you. No. So try to understand the differences here. Third paragraph, you can see here. Santosh's parents were affluent landowners who could afford to send their children to the best schools, even to the country's capital, New Delhi, which was quite close by. But in line with the prevailing custom in the family, Santosh had to make do with the local village school. So she decided to fight the system in her own quiet way when the right moment arrived. And the right moment came when she turned 16. At 16, most of the girls in her village used to get married. Santosh was also under pressure from her parents to do the same, means to get married. Right? So her parents could easily afford and could send her to the country's capital, New Delhi, for better education. But they didn't do so. You know why? Because she was a daughter. She was a girl. But Santosh was determined. She was just waited for the right time, the right moment to arrive, and then she was already ready with her plan. What next? And finally, the moment came when she had to take a decision, and it was when she was just 16 years old. And at 16, that time, girls had to marry. Even today, in villages, it happens. And she was also pressurized. She was also, insisted by her parents that she should get married when she was just 16 years old. But did she agree? No. And what was her plan then? But let's see in detail here. Number 4 paragraph. A marriage as early as that was the last thing on her mind. She threatened her parents that she would never marry if she did not get a proper education. She left home and got herself enrolled in a school in Delhi. When her parents refused to pay for her education, she politely informed them of her plans to earn money by working part-time to pay her school fees. Her parents then agreed to pay for her education. And dear students, in the society, we find different examples. Even in class 8, if you remember, children at work, a boy had run away from his family. And how he was troubled, Even the movie you have watched in Marathi, what is it? Where Parsha and they run and finally face many problems in their life. They did it for a marriage. But here is the one who doesn't want to get married and she wanted her education to be completed. That is the difference, dear students. And so she is a successful woman in the world and the first lady in the world who could, climb up the Mount Everest twice. So we should be determined for good. If it happens that you have to teach a lesson to your parents for your sake, for your own development, you can. But in present time, it never happens. Parents are there to provide you everything, but we are there running away from the things and trying to get involved in the things that we should not or we are not supposed to be. And here you can see this Santosh Yadav threatened her parents that she may not or she may never marry anybody until and unless she gets a proper education. And for the sake of education, she left her home, telling nothing to her parents, and went to New Delhi. And there she enrolled herself in one of the schools or the college, and there she continued her education. And from there, she informed her parents that she has been there in Delhi and is ready with a plan to earn money by working part-time to pay her school fee. But she had not to work because the parents finally agreed that they will provide her money for her education and she may continue there. So this way she threatened and was determined for her education. Isn't she right, dear students? Or what's she wrong? What do you say? What is your opinion? Yes, dear students, say something. Are you there, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So what do you think? She was right, threatening her parents for her education and writing them that she was going to start working for a part-time to pay her fees. Was she right or wrong?
Right.
Or she should have simply got married and do nothing to, in
She was
education?
right.
Yes, she was right.
That's right.
Yes, very good. Even you agree? And whenever you are taking decision, you think of your idols, what they might have done if they were in my place. So that will also help you take the right decision. Otherwise, just being a teenager and in adolescent state, it happens that there are chances, probably we take wrong decisions and we think that we are right. Fine? So she ran away for her education and finally she was right from our point of view also. So number 5 paragraph on page number 100, you can see here the way she continued her education and her life after that. Wishing always to study a bit more and with her father slowly getting used to her urge for more education, Santosh passed the high school examination and went to Jaipur. And she firstly wanted class 10 to be completed, then 12, but father was wishing that after 10 she should agree and get married. After 12 at least, she should agree and get married. But it never happened because she wanted more and more and more education in her life. And so just after having completed and passing the examination, high school examination, she went to Jaipur for higher education. And there she joined Maharani College and got a room in Kasturba Hostel. So Santosh remembers, hey dear students, whose name is Kasturba?
Yes, sir.
Whose?
Kasturba Gandhi.
Yes, Mahatma Gandhi's spouse, wife. Good. So here, after she joined that Maharani College, there was a hostel with the name Kasturba, and there she got a room for her accommodation. And there she remembered. What does she remember? Let's see. Kasturba hostel faced the Arauli Hill. I used to watch villagers from my room going up the hill and suddenly vanishing after a while. One day I decided to check it out myself. I found nobody except a few mountaineers. I asked if I could join them. To my pleasant surprise, they answered in the affirmative and motivated me to take to climbing. And finally, as she was staying there in a Kasturba hostel, it was faced just to Arauli Hill. She could easily notice that the people climbing up, doing trekking and all. And she one day thought that what is there that the people are going up there to see? And so out of curiosity, she went. And there she found not more people, but there were some mountaineers trying to climb up the mountain, that Arauli Hill. And she just asked them if she could join them. Because she could not go alone, being a girl. And so they finally agreed, those fellow mountaineers, and took her with them. She was not expecting that they could, but finally they agreed and motivated rather to climb up the mountain, the Aravalli Hills with them all. So how can we say that she never expected that they will allow, but they allowed? Which is the word or the sentence here that you can say that she did not expect, but it happened? Can you tell?
Pleasant surprise.
Absolutely, very good. It is to my pleasant surprise. Absolutely right, dear Ghanshyam. Very good. Then there is a sentence I'm telling you. You tell me if it is direct speech or indirect speech. I asked if I could join them. Direct speech or indirect speech?
Indirect.
Very good. Can you change it to direct speech? Anybody?
I asked, can I join you?
Very good. Or I said, comma, double inverted comma, can I join you? And so indirect speech is here. I asked if I could join them. Very good. Was this Akanksha?
Yes, sir.
Other
Yes, sir.
students could understand it well? The reported speech that we have already studied, direct speech, indirect speech, you know? If you
Yes.
don't, please ask me so that I can explain you again. Fine. This is 12:45. This is the time that we should end our session. We'll continue with the next. Thank you so much, dear students. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you,
Welcome,
sir.
dear students. All of you. Bye.
Bye, sir.